Alright, Al, how we doing? Alright, so that's working. Right. The reason I'm doing this is I'm fascinated by the death of RBG because just let me get this screen set up properly. There we go. So alright, Psycho, David, Al, everyone's here, sorted. So I've just uploaded my BBC video and I want to make a quick one about RBG because I uploaded it, sat and started reading the news, and I need some questions answered, hopefully by some Americans over the age of about fucking 40 that watch my videos, because I'm astounded at the hyperbole and the outright nonsense that basically the TV and the radio and the news and everything today in the United States is about RBG. If you're British and you're not aware of who she is, although surely you are now, because have you noticed? Hello everyone, alright, Sean, Alistair. Have you noticed how the whole world is about America nowadays? And do you remember a Razorlight song years ago that came out just called America? And it was, "Oh my life, watching America." That fucking song is basically how the world is now, isn't it? Like, we literally just sit. Doesn't matter whether you're in France, England, Sweden, you just sit and see what America's doing. It's sort of pathetic, really, isn't it? And I am an American now, so it doesn't bother me that much. Like, I live here, this is my home, and I'm a citizen. But it's pathetic. Like, get on with your own lives. Run your own countries. Because uniform coverage from the BBC about an old woman dying of cancer. A very old woman, over the average age, dying of cancer, as is the natural way of things, in a foreign country, just because she happens to be a Supreme Court judge. It's sort of embarrassing, isn't it? Like, get a life. We've got our own established in 2009, bollocks Supreme Court we need to dismantle. Why don't we get to that in the UK? Get rid of that. If Boris has the brains that the gods gave a goose, he should be all over getting rid of that bent EU-style, nakedly partisan Supreme Court in the UK. But instead, we're just worrying endlessly about RB fucking G. And the stories are ridiculous. Like, here's one that I laughed at. It says, a real-life superhero. Like, it's ridiculous. I can't get the chat to still when I click on the bastard screen. I'll have to sort this out. Anyway, just look at this. It says, Kate McKinnon, like we care, an actor. An actor's paying her respects to RBG. For so many of us, she was a real-life superhero. Well, there are no real-life superheroes. Again, grow up. Why is everyone acting like they're 17? I used to collect comics when I was a kid. When I was about 10, my dad bought me some and it went from there. I used to collect them. I had loads. But I grew out of it. Like, for some reason, everyone's stuck in Arrested Development. Like, everyone's in a permanent state of being 17. Like, don't you think the fascination with superheroes? Again, I like them and I watch all the films. Entertaining. But everyone seems to be fascinated with remaining 13 years old now. So, Kate, you're older than me. Pack it in. And fucking get a grip. Stop it with the superhero analogies. Blair was... Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Blair invented the Supreme. We don't have one. It has no historical place in the UK. Get rid of it. Just fucking get rid of it. Anyway, so this infantile thing, she said, playing her on SNL was a profound joy because I could feel the love and gratitude from the audience. No one cares. She's just a judge. It's hero worship's infantile. But this is what made me laugh. I shared it on my community page. It said, here we are. I put a Democrat friend of mine shared this, and when I asked her if girls played sports in the 80s, She didn't answer. So I want to know, is this an absurd display of needless hyperbole or not? Surely American women were buying houses in the 60s. And this was just a meme that's going around on Facebook and Twitter and everything. It says, women. It's ridiculous. If you have a credit card in your own name and your own credit history, if you have leased an apartment or bought property in your name, if you've consented to your own medical treatment, if you've played a sport in school, you can thank Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Right. So please, any Americans watching, I want to know. Am I still on? Yeah. I want to know. Do we think this one old fucking crusty should be given the credit for women having credit cards, women owning property or apartments, women consenting to their own medical treatment, or playing sports in school? I want to know. Did she? Did she actually do that? Wanted 12 years old to be the age of consent. That sounds almost Vatican City-esque, that one. But yeah, so I want to know. I'd love for some Americans to pop up in the chat and educate me. If you're an American, did you have a credit card in 1980? If you're an American woman, did you play sports in school? Because I think you did. So, just to answer it, on a whim, I just quickly Googled property rights, United States, and here's what I got. It says women's rights and their money, a timeline from Cleopatra to Lily Ledbetter. And if you go down it, it's The Guardian, so they love that shit. But you've got ancient Egypt, biblical era, etc. Now obviously we know back then they couldn't do fuck all. Although apparently ancient Rome was quite feminist. It says freeborn women could get divorced, own their own property and inherit. So it has been going on 2,000 years before RBG was even born. But we'll skip that and let's just go straight down to America. United States, right? So just compare this with women. If you own your own property, thank RBG, right? 1839, Mississippi allowed women to own property. 1839 in America. 1844, married women in Maine become the first in the US to win the right to separate their economy. 1845, right to file patents. 1848, Married Women's Property Act, used as a model for all other states, who passed all their own versions by 1900, said a woman wasn't liable for her husband's debts, she could enter contracts on her own, she could collect rents, she could receive an inheritance in her own right, she could file a lawsuit on her own, and she became, for economic purposes, an individual as if she was still single. So we can therefore say, surely, you can really go kick the arse out and go back to 1839. But if every other state passed their own version by 1900, so let's give them as much leeway as we possibly can. By 1900, oh look, that link's dead. By 1900, what did it fucking change there? Alright, that was weird. Click the link and now the entire story's changed. Oh, there we go, 1900. So every state had passed their own versions by 1900. There it is. So I want to know, if that's the case, is any part of this meme true? Any Americans on over the age of about 40? No, Bill, you're not from America. I want to know, what did Ruth Bader Ginsburg do that was such a big deal? Was anything on that meme true? Anything at all? It just says, if you have a credit card, you've got your own credit history, you've leased an apartment, or you've consented to medical treatment, or played a sport in school, you can thank Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So it seems to me like every single line Every single letter in that fucking meme is factually incorrect. They had complete financial autonomy in 1900. So it's absolute bollocks, right? But yeah, anyway, I thought I'd just ask the question, but it looks like I haven't got enough followers yet to get questions and answers done sensibly and quickly. I'm going to look into it and I want to make a video about it because I just think the whole thing is a fiction, a hyperbolic fiction. I specifically want to ask a woman, did she play fucking soccer in school in 1978? Because I don't know, the old fucker was only on the Supreme Court in like 1992. And apparently women have got to thank her for property rights. 1992. Like they weren't buying fucking houses in 1900. So, infantile, right? I just think it's ridiculous. Anyway, that's it. No answers are forthcoming, but I'm going to make a video about that because I think it's a piss take. Watch my latest BBC video if you haven't already. And yeah, like and share it, do me a favour. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon, alright? Cheers.